Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Hopefully good. I just finished watching the movie called The Call, and I thought that it was a pretty good movie. I'm just gonna give you a little quick review about it. It's about this operator named what's her name? Jordan. Sorry. The main character, which is Jordan, and she's a 911 operator. She's very well experienced, and she helps people who make 911 call emergencies to tell them what they can do in their little tough situation. And in the story, uh, well, I'm not gonna go through that much details, but it's just basically what it's like to be working as a 911 operator. I've always wondered like what it's like, to work in such a place like that. And I've always wondered that it must be tough, like, because you got a lot of responsibility. I mean, your duty, if you're working there, you gotta pick up the phone and ask like what's your emergency and all. You gotta hear them out if they're like panicking, or like you gotta listen to them, see what you can do to help, and then get the police officers who are close by to get around that area where they're at. And I bet it's just crazy. That whole movie just got me thinking like, wow, it must be really tough, because I remember in that one scene where Halle Berry, the main character who plays Jordan, she was teaching these new people, I guess, that were going to start working there, telling them that all these rules, what they have to know. One thing she told one of the characters is that one thing you cannot do is promise that person on the phone anything, because you can't keep your promising. You can't promise them that you can't that they're not gonna make it, but you can try your hardest to help them survive. And that's really tough, to do such a job like that. I think my aunt, one of my family members, she has that kind of job, and now that I see this movie, I'm like, man, it must be so tough for her. I mean, I wonder if she ever gets one of those crazy phone calls. Um, so it's probably crazy. And another thing they mentioned as one of the rules is that you cannot get emotionally attached to the person you're making the phone call with. And yeah, it's a good movie. Throughout the whole movie, when I was watching it, I was just very like into it. Like it keeps you very interested of like what it's like in that job, and what the story is about. Like you hope that the main character captures the criminal, man, because it's just so sick that there's some people out there that are like that, and it's just horrible. And then they have to do everything they can to to capture those people, because they they could hurt somebody else, and they could escape, and then they could continue doing the same routine over and over again, killing more innocent people, and it's just not fair. I don't know. Those people, those poor people, like I kind of do feel sorry for them. Those people who are really sick that way, but at the same time, like when you see that, like for example, this character in the movie, I so wanted them to like capture him, put him in a lifetime of prison or something, because people who do things like that to like young girls, teenage girls, like rape and molestation and abduction, it's horrible. I mean, if it was my daughter, shoot, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I even put myself in the main character position. If I was working in that job and I was like listening to what was going on and do everything I can to help this little girl, I would be sad. I would be, I couldn't help, because since I am emotional, I wouldn't be able to help myself but to get, attached to the person that I'm talking to on the phone who's having an emergency. And I don't know. I don't know how they would do it, but it's pretty crazy. But I admire those people who have that kind of job, because they have to be brave, they have to be serious, they have to like keep focus on what they have to do to help the situation, to help the person who's having an emergency, and hopefully, they succeed, because sometimes they even mention in the movie that, they're not sure what happens to the person who's making the emergency phone call, because they say they get caught off, and then from there they're like, I don't know if the police made it in time, or if they shot the criminal, or if they made it. So it's pretty crazy. It's a good movie, and the weekend's coming up. If you guys got nothing to do at home, or if you have the chance to go out to the dollar movie theaters, I think it's still there. It's called The Call. The movie is called The Call, with Halle Berry. Very good actress. I have to say, like, she did a very good job in this film. She's always done a great job in other movies. So, great job to Halle Berry. She really did a great job in this film. I mean, very good acting. And go check it out. I mean, the weekend's coming up, so I highly recommend you see this movie because it's very interesting to see, like, what it's like in that life, in that job. So I say give it a shot. It's a very good movie. It's very suspenseful. There's some action. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a very good story. I wonder if I have to do research. I was going to do research actually to see if it's based on a true story, but I guess I'll find out myself. So hopefully you guys are doing good, and I'll see you next time. Laters.